don't know, upcycling is basically when you take discarded things or other stuff that you don't use anymore and you decide to combine them in a new way and make them an even better object. Recycling, but we're upgrading it. This bag is actually filled with all of my previous headpieces since I first started doing makeup, if they haven't been completely broken down already. And over here we have the leftover papers from the pieces that were created, which never got used. There's so much dust. I might tap into this. I'll try to avoid them as much as possible because I want to try to use and emphasize all the stuff in here. This one's pretty intact, so I'm not gonna remove any parts of this. This headband already ripped off, but there was a little bit of shape left to it. It looked like this. So I'll probably break this one down and reuse it for something else. This one seems pretty intact, but I could reuse it as part of something else. It was actually a mask that I did for competition. You can wear it like this or like this. This was like another mask. It's years old. As you can see, it's been worn multiple times. This one's held up pretty well. Honestly, this one was really random. I just glued a bunch of purple flowers and butterflies together, and it turned out to be like one of my most successful looks ever. What did I do this for? I absolutely don't know if I even photographed this one. I think this might have been like a demo one. I'm gonna take this one apart because I don't actually like the color scheme. This one's definitely still very much intact, so I'll probably, oh, it's really heavy though. I'll probably keep this as is for now. This was actually my best headpiece ever. Structurally, I actually made this like crisscross situation with ribbon so that it would hold up to the shape of my head better. It goes on like this, and it also goes on like this. I like to make my headpieces reversible. And the last three are masks that I made way long ago. Probably one of the first times I ever tried to make designs. It almost looks like boob cups. The plan is to make a completely new either headpiece or neck piece or some sort of like a body piece that will go into whatever photo shoot I do next.
The first thing I'm doing is finding the placement of where things might go, either on my shoulder or on my chest using the mask or the headpiece, and then I'm going to go through and just rip everything apart. So we're starting with raw materials. I totally forgot to show you my prized possession and a couple of my dance moves, and now I'm trying to decide how to get started. With so many options, I'm using my head mannequin and I'm also using my actual head to see how things look if I just put them on as is. While doing this, I got the idea to take out the strings from my mask. I can also start seeing a promising design with a neck piece. With a neck piece, you need something that you can act as a necklace, so the string was the only thing I had on hand that I could probably tie together in order to attach something to my neck. The hardest part was trying to mix and match my different mask designs because a lot of them were color coded, so I struggled with the idea that too many pieces were clashing against each other and competing for attention. I thought about all this as I started to glue things together just to make that basic shape to go around my neck. As I'm gluing things together, I'm also cutting off the edges of the paper that might have been originally damaged while I was ripping apart the headpieces. I'm deciding things as I go along, and I started to realize that the mask that I originally wanted to use with this washi tape design is just not going to work because it's so bright in comparison to the paper. So instead I opted for the pastel mask, knowing that it had flowers of pink, coral, and off-white that would match the designs but not clash or overpower that washi paper. When I was done with the initial structure of the neck piece, I started adding things to the edges from two other headpieces and also that pastel mask. I took any of the flowers that were salvageable and started gluing them towards the ends of one side to get that asymmetrical look. Once the neck piece started getting heavier, I realized that there was still leftover glue on the inside of the paper and it was scratching my neck. So I wanted to make it a little bit more comfortable, and I took the felt that was left over from the mask and decided to glue it on the inside. There we go, much more comfortable. Now I'm taking the strings from the mask and I'm gluing one to each end so that I can tie it together in the back.
And this is the final design. I love this asymmetry. I can move it this way so it sits on my shoulder and photograph it sideways. I can pull it forward so it's a little more centered and photograph it like this. There's so many different ways I could use this. I'm so excited. And I haven't even tried it on my head. I'm just gonna undo this because it's a very easy knot. Babe! This could be a headpiece. Wouldn't really stay. Well, there you go. Woo! What do you guys think?